Hello, welcome. It is me, Danielle Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. Actually, scoot you guys over. Well, whatever. I don't know if that did anything. Anyway, yes, welcome. We are talking about the week of April 7th to the 14th today. And welcome if you are new. Welcome back if you are old. This week's astrology is not really that soft. We're dealing with Libra energy, so it should be soft, but it's not. We got a powerful full moon in Libra. It's lighting up the issues of relationships, maybe some issues of codependency. That could be a thing. And maybe we will get something aggressive because Mars is involved. It's squaring our full moon in Libra. So there's assertiveness, aggression, what we're trying to achieve, not quite working. And we'll get into that a little bit more. But don't be surprised if peace gets disrupted with our emotions, because that full moon is dealing with this emotions. And this week we're also about finding harmony. But we have some positive things, right? Happening this week. We have Mercury that is going direct as of today, as I am filming this live. Venus is going to station direct, and they're both in the sign Pisces. That happens this week. So we got money, communication, support. Venus is the ruler of this full moon. So right after we have the full moon, then it goes direct. So that will be interesting. So if you want to know what we have installed this week, you are at the perfect place.
3, 2, 1.
I love you.
Okay, so let's show the dates here. If you're listening to this via podcast, welcome. I am showing the dates, but I'm going to tell you April 7th, as of today, Mercury stations direct in Pisces. Venus is going to conjunct Saturn. Also on the 10th, we have Mercury conjunct the North Node. On the 11th, we have Mars trining the North Node. On the 12th is when we have the full moon in Libra. And then also Venus will be direct in Pisces. Now, coming up in wait, before I do that, actually, let me try new things here. Coming up, I wanted to show you what we have next week before I forget. And I'm just looking at my April. Oh, actually, I didn't have to go there. I can I'm pretty sure April is on here already. April, here we go. Coming up next week, we have something Mercury conjunct North Node. No, that wasn't it. What happens on the 15th? Mercury enters Aries and Mars will enter Leo next week. And solar return to all of my Taurus. So next week we have also a big week coming up for the collective. That's exciting. Yeah, new energy with the Mars. It's been in Cancer. I'm tired of it. Move on. I'm a Cancer sun, so please move on. Okay, so those are the dates. And now before we even get started, I have to tell you to subscribe, like, and comment. If you really love astrology, if you love what I'm doing this for free, then go ahead and help me out and thumbs up. You don't know how much it really helps a YouTuber or someone who is creating anything for our social media and podcasting. If you just simply download, if you simply share, or if you just thumbs up the video or the podcast, it just helps out so much. Also, if you even do a comment, oh my gosh, you guys, come on. That helps. I'm not begging. I'm just telling you how much. Because even if you don't do it for me, if you do it for your favorite YouTuber and you don't want them to quit YouTubing, you have to let them know that you like them. Okay, so show them their flowers while they are doing their work. Okay, also too, if you go down below in the description box, you can get some free stuff. I have a free reading for you. Also have, if you're wanting to learn tarot, I have a free link for that. Free newsletter. Of course, all newsletters are free. However, I give you a lot of insights, okay? And I give you the astrology weekly guidance. So even if you miss a video or the episode's too long, you still get it within the week, and also to some bonus content as well. And then lastly, I have a community that you can join. And with my community, we do deep dives. This week, we discuss a deep dive in, I did a reading of JFK's chart. And if you want just a nutshell of that, I am going to say the conspiracy theories are very much involved. And also, he's a gold digger. So there's that. That is the discovery, but there's a lot of other little tidbits. And I also talk about things for the future ahead for him, okay, as well. So let's get into what we have for the transits, and we are going to talk about now. April 7th, Mercury goes direct. So if you see here, Mercury is not red. It's been red and it's in Pisces. It's sitting here close to the North Node. So we are thinking about our future, communicating about things that we want to achieve within this year and this lifetime as a collective or individually. And it's something with divine timing, something with spirituality. I mean, that's very connected in the things that I do. But if you are not with that, it's something with compassion and love. You're understanding how it can work for you in the future in this lifetime. Okay. Also, too, Saturn is making it realistic. It's making your dreams come true. And now there's some clarity that's coming up with that. Now, Mercury is the planet of communication, intellect, travel. It marks the end of the retrograde when you have it being direct. And now the energy is going to shift. Now, when you are dealing with Pisces, well, first of all, Mercury is also, when it's retrograding, you're dealing with travel disruptions, you're dealing with miscommunication, you're dealing with losing things like your keys, or your iPad is playing tricks on you, or there's travel delays. If I said that, technical mishaps, or even like purchasing something, because Mercury represents trade. So you something and then it literally went on sale the next day. So you have those. And now also too, when there's retrogrades, it's really a time to reflect and reassess. Now the planet is moving forward. It's not slowing down. So it's working as it should be. So less accidents on the street, especially regarding death, because Pisces does represent endings. Now, Pisces, speaking of, is also connected with our emotions. And so now there is more clarity on what we think emotionally. And then also dreams and imagination, creativity. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So a lot of illusions and spirituality and tapping into our intuition, all that becomes more clear and more focused on creative endeavors and giving. Neptune and Pisces are all about oneness and love. And so then charity, also releasing, forgiving, okay, endings, closing a chapter, encouraging you to trust your inner voice, explore new adventures of self-expression. Pisces as a whole is about addiction and escapism. So that could be drugs, or like binge watching something, or even porn. Okay. Corruptions as well. Anything dealing with conspiracy theories, you're dealing with that Pisces energy, and that could be brought up. And now we're probably getting a lot of closing on that energy. Secrets, hidden enemies, endings, fogginess, and deception. Now, what can you expect now that Mercury is going direct? I did talk about this last week in my last week video. I always talk about the Monday coming up, so you just can know. But you have enhanced intuition, creative insights, emotional clarity, improved communication. Communication still may be a little foggy because you are dealing with Pisces energy. So there is that, but there could be some emotional or symbolic energy when you are like interpreting your dreams. Maybe you can comprehend it a little bit better. There's growing sense of alignment between your thoughts and your feelings. What gets unblocked? The conversations that's been confusing people, that can help. Also, plans that were stalled, that could be changing. Decisions that felt foggy now begin to move forward. Or maybe you're using your intuition and that's tapping in, or you're being really creative with the fogginess and the deception. Collective impact is people may feel more spiritually connected, inspired to act on their imagination, more grounded in how they express those ideas. Now, there is still some emotional honesty conversations happening, but it's dealing with love, and some closing and some forgiveness, intuitive breakthroughs, a lot of artistic and creative inspiration, revisiting themes of your dream and spirituality. Now, I do want you to understand that when Mercury is retrograding, then now we can stop hearing the rumors. Look at all these rumors surrounding me every day. Well, that is Pisces, okay? Now that, not Pisces, that's Mercury retrograding. Now that Mercury stops retrograding, the rumors that was happening can reduce, hopefully, if you live a very balanced life. Now, Venus is still retrograding over there. You see it's still retrograding in the sign Pisces, but at an Aries degree. So a lot of maybe discussions or a lot of disharmony in regardings to Aries represents athletes or the heroes or something new, something starting, and there's some closure or ending of it, or some confusion. about that. That's still happening. However, now we can communicate clearly. Okay. It's a great time for meditation and being mindful or being really creative or having open dialogue and analyzing your dreams. Now, Pisces represents like the moon in tarot. Okay. And now the moon was in reverse and now it's upright. Now, the moon does represent your subconscious, it represents your fears. But now we are taking this and we are trying to clear up the illusion and the confusion. And now we are illuminating some clarity when it comes to our emotions. Okay. So that is what we have. Now, also on this day, we have Venus that's sitting close to Neptune. It's been sitting close to Neptune all this time. So this is something we already been feeling, but now this is more intensified, right? So the energies about love, responsibility, finances, long-term money. I was just having a group discussion about stocks, and I was just explaining, and that Venus retrograding is so funny. I was just explaining something my husband is very adamant about stocks and telling my group, but we were talking about stocks. And this is a perfect discussion. We were talking about long-term stocks. And that is the perfect aspect which is happening today in regards to that. But it invites you to reflect about your relationships and what you value, because Venus is about your relationships. Venus is about harmony. Venus is about your money and finances, about socializing, women and team. Okay. You have all that, and it 100% still affects men, because men are, money and harmony and aesthetics all deal with men. I do also want you to understand too, that the presidency, I can't stand that I'm all centered here. Okay, hopefully that helped a little bit. The inauguration, which represents the inauguration's birth chart, which is a Taurus rising. And when Venus is retrograding, that's going to affect the stocks big time politically. And that is what we have going on. Venus retrograding also is the planet of love, beauty, and harmony. And it retrogrades about 18 months, every 18 months. So we will be getting this a few more times while Trump is president, and it's going to affect Taurus energy, his rising of the inauguration. So stocks, finances, what we deem valuable as an American or through his presidency. Okay, it's a time to reassess, reevaluate love. Think about what is bringing you harmony and peace. This is also the planet of law and justice. So that is being discussed, and relationships across the board, not just love, but like partnerships. Who are you codependent on? Because I discussed that earlier, and your friendships. Okay. Now, when you have it sitting next to Saturn, Saturn is the planet of discipline. It's the planet of structure and karma. It brings a sense of responsibility and realism to this dreamy, imaginative sign of Pisces. Pisces softens Saturn a little bit, but also too, it brings illusions. Saturn also represents the government. So wherever the zodiac sign is in, then that's the big themes of the government also. So regardless of the president, right? So Saturn in Pisces is a lot of conspiracy theories, things that we fear, things that are like no boundaries, because that represents Pisces. And Saturn soon will be going into Aries, which I've discussed in a separate video. And that is the government and war and conflict and being first and thinking of itself. So you have that displacement also in Saturn back to Pisces. It urges us to balance our dreams with practical steps towards manifestation. That is what Saturn and Pisces alone represents. Now, when you have this conjunction, now you're being more realistic about your relationships. You're reevaluating. You're also being real creative, realistic about your creativity. You're reflecting on your finances. You're thinking long-term of your finances, which I discussed earlier. And there's emotional boundaries. They're gone. There's emotional boundaries, but they're in the sign Pisces, so they're confused, a little bit lost in the sauce. Whenever you have conjunctions are strong, but they're good and bad, okay? And remember, we're dealing with an Aries degree, so something new, something has never started. This also could be something old coming your way, like you're revisiting an old lover or old partner or old business partner or soulmate. That could be coming up in the element of water, so something with your memories or your emotions, or something that's quite not clear. Relationships are being tested. That is also what that Saturn represents. Major karmic closure. Saturn represents karma. If it's good, it's great. Reality check in dreams and art. This is a wake up from the fairy tale kind of energy, and it's retrograding. So it's really internal, but you could be having some creative blocks here. You could be feeling very negative about creativity, because Saturn does make it negative. There's financial illusions can crash, but budgeting is very key now. Finances across the board with the government. That's when you have the discussions of tariffs. That's why tariffs have been such a to-do as of lately because of this. Lessons around compassion versus codependency, reassessing your values as well is all what you get. So, of course, I told you some things collectively and I told you some things internally, a lot of things dealing with your relationships and your harmony, dealing with your partnerships, dealing with law and justice and fairness, right? And now you have it also dealing with the government, and you're dealing with stocks, and you're dealing with tariffs. All that is what you get in discussion of it, and being lost in the sauce and confused or losing it because you don't know where it is. It's gone. Where is it? There, the never ending loss energy of Pisces is what that represents as well. Let me see what else we have here. Tips for navigating this conjunction. Okay, it's also about reflecting. Do a reflective journal. You could do art with purpose. I would really look at your finances, and I would not invest in stocks anytime Venus is retrograding. That's my personal opinion. I'm not into stocks. My husband is into it, and every time Venus retrogrades, it's a huge problem. So I will wait until the finances of investing, especially when it's sitting next to Saturn. I do think that you will get some information while it's sitting next to Saturn, but I wouldn't do anything. Okay. And healthy boundaries. It's the time to practice healthy boundaries. Now, on the 10th, oh, this is saying day. So let me move it to on April 10th is when the next time we get something. That's all the way until Thursday, right? And then you get Mercury is now conjunct. Mercury was conjunct the North Node before. Now we're redoing things, okay? Everything is reviewing and redoing. We had this. What was something of your future? I know exactly what was happening to me. I was reading this great book, Hamnet. If you know anything about my book tubes that I've been doing that's connected to astrology, and it was on Pisces and was talking about healing. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like so dead on. And I just happened to pick up that book. I didn't even do much research, but it was so dead on. And I remember the day, the time that this exact conjunction happened. I remember taking a shower and thinking about this book and be like, oh my gosh, this is like right on what what I meant to do. That's me personally, but this is going to come back again for the collective or you individually. You really being aware of the messages or the divine timing of something, and it's really working towards your future and what you're meant to do. Your destiny is meeting your mind and your logic and your thought process. Okay. Communications have a divine timing quality. Someone's giving you a message and it's working for your future. Soul aligned thinking, fated conversations. Mercury is the mind, thoughts, and messages. North Node is your soul evolution and your future direction. The Pisces added to this amazing combination is the combo that suggests intuition over logic, compassion over critique, and imagination as a tool for growth. This is about rewriting your narrative. This is about you creating your future, especially in writing it, because that is what Mercury represents. So rethinking your spiritual beliefs, rethinking your psychic practices, or using a creative voice. So you do have that. Now, when you have conjunctions, you have good and bad energy, right? Mine happened to be positive when it was retrograding, but let's say it was negative for you, then you may have some illusions or some confusion or some mental fog, or there's escapism through fantasy and lies, or over idolizing a person and looking at them in a rose-colored lens, or a situation. It doesn't have to be a person, right? Or difficulty articulating your thoughts, like you're very elusive and you're passive aggressive with your communication because it's so vague and it's using spirituality, but it's bypassing that, or it's manipulating, or you are being manipulated and you're being misunderstood. Miscommunication rooted in emotions, fear of being too out there. Like, what are you talking about? You're lost in the sauce. Pisces is all about faith and surrender and mysticism. So people have to figure out exactly what you're doing, and you have this fear. Pisces also represents fear because it is the unknown. So you can also have the awareness of bringing things to your world through your intuition, and it's bringing out things. Just be aware of that. Okay, so you may second guess your ideas or spiritual insights and reject for not being logical or grounded, and people are like, that's not realistic. Why are you thinking that? But Saturn is sitting close, so they may not be thinking that. Okay, victim mentality in communication. Victim-based narratives are communicating your pain without becoming your pain. Okay, how do you work through this? I want you to know that anytime you tap in your intuition when it comes to Mercury, that's better when it's in a sign Pisces. So you want to use your intuition. You want to go off with what is the feeling in a room. Okay, whenever Mercury's in Pisces, go off of what is the feeling in the room. Don't go off what they're saying, because that might be more deceitful. Okay, practice discernment. Not every gut feeling is the truth unless it's filtered through wisdom. Balance intuition with facts. You know, there is this saying that you need to have some tangible results if you feel very insecure about your intuition. That's fine. We are human. At the same time, really go in and trust your intuition. I bet you 10 out of 10 times it's real and more factual than anything else. However, when it comes out of fear, that is not your intuition. Okay, when it's an urgency, like I gotta get out of here now, that is not your intuition. Okay, don't fear being misunderstood. For the collective, it's about dream journaling, writing your poetry, meditating, focusing on collective healing and forgiveness. This is a great time for forgiveness too, in order to have something that you want to gain new under the sun. Okay. Yes, so that is what we have now. As of April 11th, the next day, this is something that we do have positive. We have Mars at 27 degrees, and now it's trining this energy here. It's trining things that we are talking about and thinking about in our North Node. So we are emotionally driven to action with words. We are communicating it. Emotional words are very creative words as well. Karmic motivation. What are acts of compassion, nurturing with others? What else do we have here? Deep family. No, not that one. Soul fueled creativity. Oh yeah, this one is deep family or ancestral healing may be a part of this mission, because we are dealing with ancestry and mom and family and what you feel safe. Also could be dealing with your father. This is a water trine, so this is all about emotions, and it's just going to land on your lap. It's going to be really good for all my water signs, you know, my Scorpios, my Pisces and Cancers. This is going to really work for you. This is also be about caring about the home and helping with your future. And it comes in a communication, like there's a letter at your door, you get a letter in your mail, and it's dealing with your home or your ancestry or your past, or something dealing with your mom, or something dealing with safety. And there's something for your future, and it's going to be coming written for you guys. Okay, we still have these things connected to it, so it could be something dealing with law, something dealing with court, something dealing with a friendship, or something that's bringing you harmonic balance and fairness. And then there is something realistic, something tangible at the same time, and something that's setting boundaries, or a long lesson as well, or something that's going to take time, but it's still positive. That is what I have for you guys. With that, let me see what else. Now let's go into the 12th of April. Now, this is when we have a cosmic realignment, right? We have the full moon in Libra happening, and I am actually going to put that exactly in a chart. Wait a minute. Let me put that here. Okay, so this is our full moon in Libra. Oh, it's conjunct Chiron. I didn't even put that in my notes, but we'll explain that in a minute. Actually, okay, because I don't want to forget it. It's going to happen at 5:21. It says here 5:22 p.m. in Los Angeles. I was actually doing this, breaking this down on my phone. You know, it's so funny. I mean, when I first learned astrology, the thought that I would be breaking down astrological transits on my phone is crazy. But I was just on my phone, putting my notes on Notion, and that is the hardest thing to do if you guys know Notion. Anyway, but you know, I was trying to do that while Mercury's retrograding. So it's 23 degrees. First of all, I'll explain that. 23 degrees is an Aquarius degree. First, I'll tell you the basics of the degree, and then we'll talk about the Sabian symbol. So this is the full moon, right? This is the big kahuna of the week, other than the planets going direct. Now, okay, so 23 degrees basically is saying that this could be a theme within this huge aspect. Okay, so Aquarius represents airplanes, it represents the sky, traveling, right? It's an air sign. Divorce, surprises, high places, high tech, new technology, something dealing with the collective and the people, humanitarianism, an organization, friends, and networking. Also the future, if I didn't say that already. Okay, so you have that. Now it's sitting, the sun is sitting next to Chiron. So there is a strong healing aspect here that we need to heal ourselves, because it's in the sign Aries. And this is going to be different for each rising sign or each placement. So, but as a collective, as an umbrella situation, it is something that is dealing with healing. Okay. In a sign Aries, that is healing of the self or a first start, something new. You're healing yourself for the first time in something. Or there's an impulsive healing, okay? Now the sun is bringing light to this this aspect that needs to be healed, but it's opposing your emotions. It's opposing your safety. It's opposing your hidden side. It's not in the same light, and or maybe it's illuminating your emotions, and it's going to make you emotional, right? Now, this is an air sign. Air signs are not really that emotional. However, you're dealing with something that's dealing with relationships, okay? But I just want you to know, because I didn't write this down and I don't want to forget, that there is a healing aspect added to all this, okay? So, and I'll try to bring it back together. Hopefully I can remember as I do this. And before that, I want to take a sip of water because we're going to talk about the Sabian symbols. Okay, so the Sabian symbols, also too, Saturn and Pisces. Everyone should be very serious about their water. There's so many times I think of astrology when I'm out through life and I'm like, the seriousness of water. Have you guys gotten more serious about water? Or people? I know I was watching a reality show. It was like Vanderpump Rules, and Saturn was in Pisces, and they had this guy do like a water tasting. But ever since Saturn's been in Pisces, we have been very serious, and we only drink spring water. Anyway, and out of glass. We don't do it out of any plastics. Everything is either out of metal or glass for water. Anyway, that's a whole nother tidbit, but that is a Saturn and Pisces thought. So back to this full moon. Sorry to skip all over the place, but if you love astrology, you love astrology. So back to this full moon. Now I looked up the Sabian symbol, and see, this is at 23 degrees in Libra. So it's not exactly like, if this was 0, we would say exactly. So we rounded up to 24 degrees in Libra. And when you have it at 24 degrees, it is called a third wing on the left side of a butterfly. I'm going to explain what this means, okay? Distinctiveness and uniqueness. Now, Aquarius does represent being different, very out of the box. So remember, it's an Aquarius degree. Now I'm reading a Sabian symbol of this degree. Now, this symbol speaks to the fact that there is unlimited potential in a man and his world. When an individual respects and capitalizes on his own uniqueness and is sensitive to every opportunity that presents itself, then there is no limit to what he or she can achieve. The image of the third wing on the left side of the butterfly is a powerful symbol of originality, very Aquarius, extraordinary distinctiveness. Every deviation from the norm has its own special contribution to make to the experience. At its highest, symbol represents creativity. You are different. You are unique. If you are someone who has, like, I'm just thinking of all the different deformities of a body. Like if you have 6 fingers, that is a uniqueness, right? If you have 4 nipples, these are things that people have. That's a uniqueness. I know that's like, what are you talking about? I'm just trying to think of like an extra toe. That's a uniqueness. Like this butterfly has a third wing. It looks odd. It's different. However, this is a benefit. And this also ties into the Chiron aspect, right? That there is some healing here, and it's a unique healing that needs to happen. And the sun is highlighting what needs to be healed. And this is either of yourself, this is either something new, or this is something that is first. Okay. So the positive parts of this Sabian symbol is a special genius for recognizing a latent opportunity and even the most seemingly promising and hopeless situation. The negative is being obsessed with the bizarre. Like it's so bizarre, you're obsessed with it and you're holding it to a higher plane. No, you don't want to do that. And abnormal or inability to recognize the true value of things. Okay, so recognize that there is value in your uniqueness. However, it's not to be worshiped. It's not like everyone prays to my six finger. No, okay. Risk. Guard against rejecting things that don't measure up to your standards or perfection. That is very North Node in Pisces too. That is something that we are all working on as a collective. On the other hand, don't overvalue a thing on a simple basis of its rarity. There needs to be harmony and balance in everything that you do. Do not overdo, and I'm talking to all my Sagittarius because you tend to overdo. Do not overdo the praising of this rare, unique difference, okay? Honor it, accept it, use it as his gift, but it is not the only gift that you have, okay? Keywords: different, remarkable, peculiar, mutant, and deviant, okay? Now, what else do we have? This is all connected with that healing in Chiron. This Libra moon illuminates how true balance often requires embracing your imbalance. Libra full moon with the themes of beauty, symmetry, also too, because Libra likes everything to be perfect and balanced. And now when you have this Sabian symbol, it's saying that things are a little bit off balance. But that is okay. You may feel lopsided in love and friendship and our identity or healing. So this is a perfect example. You may be in a relationship and you guys do things a little bit different during this full moon. There's going to be an awareness of that, and it needs to be healed. There needs to be a healing aspect of it because it is different. It is something new, right? But that's your gift. That third wing is weird, but it might let you fly in a way no one else can. Embrace your distinctiveness, let go of the pressure to appear perfectly balanced, and accept the possibility that your unique emotional design is exactly what you are or what you need in your next soul's phase. Also, too, remember, don't praise it. Don't say, well, this is how every relationship should be, because ours is different. Everyone should be different. No, that's not how that goes. Okay. Now, just some random key themes when we have this Libra here, action here. We have Libra rules partnerships, romantic and professional, business, anything that you are codependent on or are working with, that is what it's working on. So you're going to have some issues with that. That is going to bring some harmony, or not some harmony, some awareness of that. It's going to cause some emotional turmoil, possibly for a lot of people. Inner harmony and external peacekeeping. Libra wants harmony, and sometimes that costs to be truly authentic. That is that Aries. Aries wants to be real, even if it's messy. Aries is like, let's be real, let's be impulsive, let's be honest, let's be blunt. And Libra's like, nah, you know what? I don't want to confront this. We're going to be passive aggressive. We're not even going to address what happens because we want everyone to have peace. And this could be an issue that could be caused with this full moon. Justice, law, fairness, speaking up, legal matters, negotiation, unspoken issues that may surface. Okay. You may be avoiding a conflict. And now this sun is like, no, no, no. We are bringing awareness to this, and there needs to be some healing for this. Okay. Releasing people pleasing patterns also is a thing with this. It's a great time of letting go, overthinking what others think, fear of confrontation, that passive aggressive, which I talked about, the habits of that, being codependent on partners, like you can't do it on your own. There's going to be an awareness of that. Okay. So some rituals you can do with this full moon is write a letter, and do it the day before. So do it on the 11th. Write a letter to someone. You don't have to send it, expressing your truth. Cut energetic cords with toxic patterns or past loved ones. Decorate your altar or your space with roses, copper, that represents Venus. Venus is also metal, or anything dealing with pink. That's very Libra. Pastel colors is very Libra too. Also yellow also represents Libra. Libra moon is justice, the justice card, and it's all about fairness and truth and karmic clarity. And Aries is in tarot representing the emperor card, right? So the self-authority and structure and divine masculine energy. So when you put these two together, you want to have harmony and balance. At the same time, you want to focus on the self and the love of self and setting some boundaries. You have to conjoin these two together. They need to be in a harmonious balance. So also being fair and also being strong in your true self. Okay. Now you can have this as thinking of it as like the Two of Swords in reverse, if you know astrology. And the Two of Swords in reverse is like you're stuck. There's a stalemate within it internally, and you can't make a decision. You're blindfolded. You're not using your intuition. You're trying to avoid the truth. Decision time is here, and you don't want to do it. You don't want to express it. You don't want to say it. This is a time to vocalize and speak your truth. Think about your truth. What is your true feelings? Be aware of your true emotions. And yes, that was what we also have for the full moon. This full moon is going to affect all my cardinal signs. Okay. So if you have any placements between degrees of like 20, 19, it's let me look at the degrees here again. If you have any degrees, we'll say 13 degrees. Okay. Anything placements with 13 degrees in a cardinal sign all the way to 30, then 29, then you are talking about your Cancer placements. It's going to affect you. My Aries, of course, my Libras, and then also my Capricorns. This is going to affect you the most. So even if you're a Libra rising, okay, if you're a Libra moon, a Mercury in Libra, Venus in Libra, this is going to affect you. This is going to affect your emotions. It's going to bring a challenge, and it's going to make you have to wake up and change some things. Okay. Aries, I said. Cancers, I said. Capricorns, I said. What else? Full moon is also going to square. Oh, I didn't say this. This full moon is also going to square the moon. Now the full moon. The full moon is going to square Mars in Cancer. Now Cancer is in the moon sign. So this is all connected. So the energy of this, Mars in Cancer is very defensive action. It's emotionally reactive, passive aggressive tendencies towards protectiveness. There is going to be some aggression added on to this full moon. So you're not just dealing with emotions. You're talking about emotional blow-ups or like breakthroughs. People being very aggressive and they're being highly emotional at the same time. There is some not wanting to confront the truth or not wanting to confront this relationship that's dealing with the past, and there's some high emotions involving with this. Passive aggressiveness, at the same time, some control dynamics happening. Okay, so you've been holding some resentment and you've been people pleasing too much, and now it is the bomb has exploded, and here's the bomb right here. Okay, so arguments may center around emotional labor, family issues, are bringing something up from the past, are feeling unappreciated. Okay, sacred anger, feeling for justice, that could be a thing too. Yeah, a lot of things. This is very aggressive. This is how you achieve things. I'm like, do I have another book here? I have this book here, and this book is the Archetypal Universe by Ren Butler. I don't know if I ever mentioned this. This is one of my top books for as an astrologer, right? So if we look up this conjunction here, not this conjunction, this square aspect of Mars and the moon, I'll just look up Mars and the moon. I'm not going to look up, well, it doesn't have the full moon, right? But let me see, moon and Mars. We'll look here and I'll tell you what it says. It says a tendency towards sharp reaction, outbursts, which I talked about, fierce and brash attitude, family conflicts, and anger. Now, when you have it connected to the sun, it won't show the sun because the sun is back here. Let me go to the sun and we'll put the sun and the moon. We'll do the sun and the moon. Hold up. Turning Pages. This is a really great book if you guys are into astrology, if you want to know more about astrology, if you're an astrologer. This is really good. Let me see if it has the moon and Mars. Adios. Okay. Yes. So we have a competitive and contrary nature, a proneness to be hot-headed reactions, outbursts, again, outbursts, rash and impulsive activity, emotional and physical burnout. Oh, yeah, we are talking about physical burnout for this full moon because you are talking about achieving things. You're talking about your physical energy happening, especially with that Aries. So major body issues could be happening as well. So you guys, take your time. Do not be impulsive because this is very impulsive energy and a lot of outbursts. Now, we're all human, right? And things happen. And when that happens, you need to forgive yourself and release and ask for forgiveness to others, okay? Because we're all human and conflicts happen, outbursts happen. You need to practice some forgiveness. I'm actually going to pull a card on it. What do we have for the full moon and when you do an outburst here? We have the 10 of Cups, okay? You need to have divine love with yourself. You need to think blissfully and have some harmony in relationships. So there needs to be some forgiving and some releasing and thinking with emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is about forgiving because you're not perfect and neither are they. So if they come to you as aggressive and then they may come back and say, you know what, I'm sorry, or they're holding some resentment and they needed to release that. That is really also the issue here. Now, when you're talking about this full moon, I want to also address that the full moon, the ruler of the full moon, it's in Libra. The ruler of the full moon is over here in retrograde. So you are talking about some disharmony to the utmost. There's a lot of imbalancing. There is a lot of things that are not fair. It's not justice. And also to money. There is issues about money and finances. And then also too, there is an issue about relationships. And it's very serious, and you may be feeling restricted because it's sitting next to Saturn. This is affecting this full moon. This is affecting the full moon. It's not happy with itself. And then this is affecting the full moon. This is affecting our motives and our drive. And there's a lot of emotions attached to it already, but it's even conflicting the ruler of Mars. So that is also an issue. And there's a light involved here. It's illuminating it as well. So our motives may be everyone can see it. There's healing involved. There's a lot going on with this full moon. And then also too, the ruler of it is over here retrograding, acting a damn fool. Okay. Trying to act like it's serious over there in Pisces next to Saturn, but there's a lot of restrictions. So it's conjunct the North Node, it's conjunct Mercury, it's conjunct Saturn in Pisces, and it's retrograding. So Saturn adds the weight, Saturn adds the burden to the relationship. Saturn also adds the reality to the relationship too, and the karma. So That is a big issue. There's a strong grow up or let go energy. What no longer aligns with our soul paths may be released. Old love wounds, past relationships, all that. And then you have it conjunct the North Node. So there's a soul evolution here. There's a need to not be perfect. There's a which also goes with that Sabian symbol. And there's a need to especially focus on love and forgiveness, because Pisces represents forgiving too, and following your intuition. And now you have it conjunct Mercury too. So all this is affecting this full moon. It's all connected with this full moon, and it is going to be on Saturday. Happy weekend to everyone. Saturday in the evening, so all you guys can have fun during the day, and then everyone go home. Because Venus also represents socializing, okay, and like the social parties as well. So there could be some conflict happening there. But Mercury in Pisces is also your intuitive downloads, emotional speech. People will be very emotional, but it's bringing some realistic things. Or you might be sitting getting a text and you're like, this text is so confusing. Why did they text me this? And this is conflicting and making me have an outburst. That could be happening too. Writing, dreaming, art, all that is connected with this. The vibe in a nutshell is that the full moon shines a light on imbalance dynamics. Pisces is don't just fix it, feel it, forgive, and float forward, release. Your logic is your way through this. So you have to surrender, you have to reflect, you have to intuitively choose what aligns with your soul's direction. Now, again, I love talking about tarot. So if you're talking about tarot, that Venus retrograding in Pisces is the Lover's card in a reverse, and there is disharmony with some unions. Get ready for that. And don't say I didn't tell you. So that is one part having added to this. Now, the Saturn is the world card, right? And Saturn represents completions, maturity, your karmic cycle, success, some closures. So there is something that needs to be closed up. Okay, now the North Node. The North Node, we can say represents the star card, and it's about your destiny, your hope, your divine direction. This is your divine timing. This was meant to happen, and there needs to be releasing and forgiving. Then you have Mercury in Pisces, that's the High Priestess, and it's the magic card, the magician card, and it is your manifestation coming through your intuition and listening to beyond words, okay? Don't just communicate with words. There is communications with emotions. It's going to be highly emotional. Do not say I didn't tell you, okay? Now, who is this going to affect? I looked up some people politically and famous who this could be affecting. This is going to be affecting Kamala. Kamala has a sun in Libra, and it's the exact degree. So may not be publicly, but it's going to be affecting her. Let's see who else we have here. Let me see. Do I have her chart still? Favorites, Kamala. We have her chart. Let me put it with the let me put you guys back here. And let me put it with the the full moon here. Now, Kamala, who was also born during a full moon, this could bring some balance in our life, actually, because you see it's already off balance, and now you have this being the first of something, and there's some healing, could be towards her future. Let's see what happens to Kamala. There could be something happening to her. I don't know why I have that. It could be a secret. I probably wrote that down for someone else. Remember, I wrote these notes on my phone, so the copy and paste was not its best, okay? But Kamala, look out for Kamala. Now for Trump, there is something going on with Trump too. With Trump, we have this full moon in Aries. It's sitting on his Jupiter, sitting close to Jupiter in Libra. So something big. Jupiter works really good for him. So this might be really good for him. Also sitting close to that Chiron. And when you have this could be triggering, again, some healing for him. As far as his philosophy, as far as his communication, let's see. I don't know if he has siblings, but it's communication, it's early education. I'm going to say it's communication for him. In regards to his relationships, this could be some type of communication with Israel, because relationships is with Israel. Something big, something emotional happening. Mars, this is what I said we won't be able to see. So this is who I put it under Kamala. We might not be able to see this conflict because Mars is in his 12th house. These are things we cannot see. And it's definitely dealing with a partnership of something, a secret partnership. And I would think that is with Israel. I don't know if that's secret. Maybe he has another partnership that we don't know. But this will be affecting Trump for sure. It is sitting very close to all his personal planets. This is actually squaring his Saturn of limitations at a perfect degree. So that is why I'm saying that is going to definitely affect him. I'm pretty sure, I don't think I have Biden. I don't have Biden, but also too, Biden has a Jupiter in Cancer. So remember, I told you that the cardinal signs will be affected. So if we took off Trump here, and if we were talking about Biden, this is dealing with that Mars in Cancer. This is going to be affecting him, and the full moon is squaring all of that. His Jupiter in Cancer, which is retrograding in Cancer. So a lot of abundance, something big, something dealing with law could be affecting him as well. And then we have Vladimir Putin. I do not have his chart, but with Vladimir Putin, he has a Libra and Mercury at 23 degrees, and he has Neptune in Libra. So there's something like a speech or something written or a text message, or I don't know what house is in with Vladimir Putin. This is going to affect him, and it's going to illuminate, may stir some global attention, international relationships, particularly around negotiations, fairness, strategic alliance. That Mars can trigger emotional power plays and defensive maneuvers. Something from the past could be brought up. But yeah, it is his Mercury, and this could be still dealing with something of communication, also trade as well. Now, celebrities that this could be affecting is Kim Kardashian. She has a Libra sun and a Pluto in Libra. She's a Pisces moon. I didn't know that. Anyway, so very sensitive there. Probably also very intuitive, but I wonder, I need to see where that Pisces energy is. Anyway, but that Libra sun and that Pluto in Libra, the full moon is going to affect her, and it's going to be something about herself, something with her ego, something with probably a physical body, something with a transformation and a change. Also, too, could represent a death of some sort, too, because we have that Pluto involved. Cardi B has a Libra sun and an Aries moon. So this is like opposite. So this could actually balance her, but let's see if we have more issues with her relationships as well. Will Smith has a Libra in Mercury. It is at 28 degrees. It's not hitting it exactly, but it will conjunct. So this is going to be affecting him. Will we see it? I'm not sure, because I don't even follow what Will Smith does, but we do have that. Now back to what we have for the rest of the week. We have back to it shortly after, like literally after an hour later. Oops, what am I pressing? After an hour later of the full moon, then we have, let's see, here we go. I'm looking at Venus. Okay, it's not an hour later. Oh wait, no, it is an hour later. I had it on the wrong day. Hold up. We have it on the 12th, and if we go here, after the full moon is at 5, literally after the full moon. Look, the full moon is at 5 something, and then after the full moon, we go to 6 p.m. It is now direct. So it acts up for the full moon, and then it's like, oh, the full moon's done. I blew up that issue. Now I can go back to my normal doings. If you see here, Venus is not red, and during the full moon, Venus is red, but then the full moon's over, and now it's direct. Anyway, so when Venus goes direct, then all those people in their stock markets, that would start changing. It will get, the steps will be redoing, and then it will get all the way here to Pisces. When is Venus fully out of its retrograde? Do I have my Venus? Venus is fully done as of May 15th. Yes, all the way till May 15th. It goes direct April 12th, and then May 15th, it will fully be out of its shadow phase, and that's when it enters Aries at 10 degrees. So all the way until May 15th is when the stock market will get a little bit better. Okay. Sorry, but that is just how it goes. But Venus being direct is going to give us some clarity with loves. There's been some things behind the scenes or things that have been covered up, maybe a fantasy or projection or a rose-colored lens when it comes to our spirituality and what we love in the spiritual aspect, or like a spiritual connection with someone. And now that is going to have some clarity. Who is real? What is worth keeping? We have emotional artistic breakthroughs. That's going to have some clarity, some karmic shifts in relationships, divine feminine awakening. Venus also in Pisces is the love language. It expresses love. It is having a parties, and they're very like spiritual parties or chakra parties or like meditation parties, are parties that are really connecting us with oneness, or all of us being on the same page and we're all loving each other. I haven't had much bad things with the Venus retrograding in Pisces. Maybe because Pisces to me is already like the Lululand and all that stuff and confusion, and I understand that energy very strong. But I do want to say that for all of you guys who had conflicts with relationships and partnerships, it's going to be okay. You need to practice forgiveness. Now it happens in Pisces. She's exhausted in Pisces, so this is very positive when it goes direct. There's a lot of oneness and love, and yeah, it's supposed to be here now. Venus is the Empress card in tarot, so it's all about giving birth to something, and enjoying the spas and the rituals and beauty and love and creativity. And then also too, the Judgment card also. So now we will have some justice, and things won't be so confusing and lost in the sauce. We will be looking at things in a different perspective, and a lot of oneness and love. Okay. New beginnings in love and relationships. So yes, that is what we have. Now we are going to do our horoscopes, but before that, we are going to have a word from our sponsor. Hello there, my beautiful souls. I am Danielle Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. Are you ready to take your spiritual journey to the next level? Introducing Danielle's Astro Tarot Elite Club, your exclusive getaway to daily insights, cosmic guidance, and so much more for just $4.99 a month. As a member, you'll receive daily readings designed to align your day with the universe's energy. Start each. Okay, so I see I have a comment. Hello, Sandra. Thank you, Danielle, for sharing your sunshine insights. Thank you, Sandra, for I see you commenting too. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for commenting, even in my videos down below. Thank you so much, and I appreciate it. Now let's get into the horoscopes, you guys. Let me see. Actually, before I do that, let me just tell you what we have for the collective for the week. What do we have for the collective for the week? We have the Sun card. I know this card because, it's in reverse. Okay, so now the Sun is hiding, okay? There's a lot of us for the collective. In reverse is that you could be feeling down. This is temporarily because the Sun moves very fast, okay? You could be overly optimistic. You could be delayed in gratification. There's a lot of inner child, block happiness, pessimism, and conceitedness. This is also the energy of not giving up, not giving something, not producing something. This is the Father card, so there could be issues with the Father as well. But the Sun in reverse is like you're not glowing, you're not shining, and you're not letting people see your light. You could be dimming your light, or someone could be dimming your light for you with that Saturn in Pisces. Just so you know, how can we fix that for the week? I am going to say that there needs to be a pause. Stop moving so fast. I pulled the Eight of Wands in reverse. So collectively, us as a collective, stop moving so fast. You're moving too fast. You got to slow down. That is that Pisces energy. Okay, so now let's get into the horoscopes, and everyone needs to check their rising sign, their sun sign, and their moon sign. You may not know your birth time. That's fine. Just take your sun sign. However, if you do, this will be great. You're really going to know what's going to happen for you within this full moon. Okay, so we are going to start with Aries. Okay, Aries, this is going to happen in your seventh house, the full moon. This is going to be about partnerships and commitments and soul contracts. The full moon illuminates the state of your partnerships. Expect revelations around love, loyalty, emotional needs. This also could be dealing something with law and aesthetics. Someone may be mirroring something back to you that you may ignore. Meanwhile, Venus is going direct in your 12th house, and this is about releasing a past relationship, having some inner harmony with yourself and solitude. Being alone is great, and really loving yourself and learning to not think in lack when it comes to yourself and what you value in regards to being alone. And it's like the energy is like you feel like you're in solitude. Okay, closure and reconnection is possible, or maybe there is a relationship that ended too with this. Now let me see what we have for you guys. with this full moon. We got a few cards. We have the Two of Wands. There is a choice and a decision. You having some first steps. You are planning to choose a path. You're planning to move forward. That is great. This is your comfort zone now. So let's see what else we have here. We have the Judgment card in reverse. There's still some unfinished business that needs to happen. You are doubting yourself. Again, I said that negativity, insecurity. I don't know if I said that out loud. I probably thought it. But there's some self-doubt and there's some negativity, and you need to walk away from what no longer serves you. That sounds like that relationship that we talked about. Okay, Aries, that is what you have for this full moon. Definitely some relationship issues, and it could be relationship with yourself and God. All right, I will see you next time. Bye. Okay, Taurus, this is in the full moon is in your sixth house of health and habits, work and daily rhythm. Okay, the full moon asks you about your daily habits. And actually, let me hold up. Wait a minute. Let me see. Let me make sure because I did these notes on my phone and I want to go to Taurus and just make sure. Yes. Okay. Sixth house. Yes. Okay. I did it right. Okay. So this is about your daily habits aligned with your well-being and your values, something you've been tolerating at work, because this could be dealing with your employees as well, or your day-to-day routines. And there is a breaking point. It is you versus yourself, and you're like, I cannot stand this. What is going on? Venus stations direct in your 11th house, and it helps you realign with your long-term goals and rekindle with some inspiration around your community, around your friendships, around you probably had some friendship problems. Let me know if that happened, my Taurus rising, or a dream project was being delayed of some sort. You weren't getting support for your future and your hopes and dreams in technology. Oh my gosh, social media. You're like, no one is liking my pictures. People you thought were drifting away may resurface, but now with more clarity. Let's see what else we have. I'm going to pull 3 cards here, and we have new clarity coming your way. Get excited because this is a breakthrough. The truth, there's some insights, new ideas, some vision, some focus, very positive. We have the Death card too. So the Death card is representing things that are ending. Okay. There's a rebirth happening for you, Taurus. Okay. Symbolic death and rebirth, big changes, time to move on, transformation, transition, and some endings, especially in that Pisces, could be in that relationship. So speaking of relationships, we have the 3 of Cups. And yes, so there is an ending of a relationship, but there's a rebirth because you will have people coming to support you. It's just that those people aren't the one. Okay. Not every group is for you. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, Geminis, this is in your 5th house, this full moon, and that is the house of romance, creativity, joy, and self-expression. Also, children. Matters of the heart reach a climax under this full moon, whether it's a romantic drama or an artistic breakthrough. You are being called to express your true self. Now, Venus is being direct in your 10th house, and this could align you with creative career path or bringing closure to a confusion love story that could be happening, or something with traveling, something that is dealing with your philosophies, or higher education is tied to your public image, and you love, and what you love must have meaning. What you love now must have meaning. What you love now must have, because you're changing your philosophy. I have some cards here, and we have the 8 of Swords. Okay, you are thinking that you're a victim. I wonder if there's something with that, your philosophies, and you're self-imposing, you're imprisoning yourself. It's not real. You're putting yourself in a prison, and it's with your negative thoughts and your limiting thoughts. Okay. Also, too, we have the Queen of Wands. This is the energy of that you need to be confident. You need to embody this energy. If you don't have fire in you, you need to be confident. You need to be creative. You need to be independent. You need to be the social butterfly. You're so strong that you need to motivate others. Okay, so you need to inspire to do that and take on that energy because it's in you. All right, I will see you next time. Bye. Okay, Cancers, this is in your 4th house. Okay, and this is dealing with your home, family, emotional foundations. And when you have this in your 4th house, hold on again, let me check. Yes, this could be revealing some hidden tensions in your home and family life, or like emotional past, or something dealing with your mom and your father. Family patterns may need balancing, especially if you are being the peacemaker, or you avoided this conflict and now it's like, boom, the conflict happened. Venus direct in your 9th house here also reignites your belief. Yeah. of your spiritual belief, and your spiritual beliefs meets your philosophies, and maybe even this is traveling and you got lost. Okay, but there is spiritual clarity with traveling, with education, higher education. You're healing your ancestral wounds by learning to trust the unknown and let love flow beyond your borders. That ninth house energy also too is dealing with publishing as well. So there could be some opening creativity with publishing. Now you're a Cancer rising, so that means Mars is in your first house, and it's all about you. And you are having conflict with the family, and you are having conflict with that sun, which is in your 10th house, which is your career, okay, or your reputation, Cancers. Okay, so we have the Seven of Cups. Okay, this is some cloudy judgment. Here also too, you felt like you had so many options and there's materialism involved, and yeah, you had some choices, you had some options, but it is an illusion. Okay, and materialism is not always that important, so that's one aspect. And then we have the King of Wands in reverse. You are arguing with people, you are fighting with people, there are conflicts, you're impulsive, you're ruthless, you're forceful, you're tyrant, you're domineering. It's very weak leader. Okay, I'm laughing because I can relate to all of that. And then we have the Chariot, which represents the Cancer. Okay, so you guys need to be compassionate, you need to stem out of love, and maybe your intentions were love. Okay, maybe you thought you were doing your best, but just don't be too confrontational. Not everyone needs the realness all the time, and not everyone can handle conflict. Okay, so when you have this emotional energy happening with that Mars in that first house, it's going to cause you to be very confrontational. I need you to chill and relax. That's one. Two, what was the first card? Because the first card was very relatable. Oh, finances and illusion. That makes me think of that 10th house there, and also Venus going direct with the finances. But you need to move forward. You need to have willpower. You need to use determination. You need to tap into your dreams and stem out of love. Be very nurturing, like the Cancer you are. Okay. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Leo, we have this happening in your third house of communication. This full moon is going to be dealing with either beginnings of learning something new, siblings, your community, and your mindset. So something is said or something is left unsaid, and now it's come to light. Okay, misunderstandings may involve resolve on your mental burnout, pushes you towards reworking how you share your thoughts. Venus is going direct in your eighth house. Now, these are things of secrets. These are things dealing with finances, shared income. Maybe there is taxes or inheritance, and now it won't be so unclear. It's in Pisces. It could still be dealing some limits of some sort, but it's getting better for you. Okay, secrets and taboos are no longer hiding in the shadows. It's time to speak and heal and transform. Now you have that full moon in that fourth house of home. That is where, why do I have it? Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong person. You have that full moon happening in your third house of communication, like I said, but you are achieving something behind the scenes. People cannot see, and you are having conflicts behind the scenes. That might be good. However, you're dealing with solitude, and that aggression of maybe even yourself or that negativity is going to affect you. I am going to pull 3 cards for you as I skip to the next one so I won't confuse them. That was Leo. Okay, so Leos, we have the Tower card. There's a big disruption. Okay, there's chaos. There's sudden change, upheaval. Maybe this is an awakening that could be happening. And we have the Leo card. Okay, Leo, and it's going to be dealing with you. And you need to persevere. You need to be resilient. You need to your faith is being tested. So you're very good at being fixated. So this is great energy. You may be feeling tired, but you need to stand your ground. Okay, no matter how hurt you are, persevere. All right, Leos. I'll see you next time. Virgos. Okay, this full moon is in your second house, and this is about your finances and your money and your self-worth and your security. A financial or self-worth issue reaches its peak. You are investing your energy into people or projects that reflect what your true values are. The full moon shows where you have been underpaid or undervalued. Venus is going direct in that seventh house of relationships. So there is a fog, or maybe you broke up with a friend or a partnership or a business partner. Could be dealing with money or a best friend of some sorts. There's some issues there happening, and yeah, you'll You'll know who values you and whether you're showing up for love in a way that matches you. Now, you have Mars that is going to be squaring this full moon in that second house, and it's dealing with your hopes and dreams or technology or something with a big group or friendship. Okay. Now, let me pull what's going to happen with this full moon. You need to tap into your intuition. You need to tap into your emotional wisdom. There's things that are very sacred, and you have the knowledge of the sacred knowledge, higher power. Use your inner voice. This is all about tapping into your spirituality. Now, far as your Venus going direct, there is something with relationships, and you're going to find your true alignment. It's going to bring you harmony. And then lastly, with that Mars squaring, is going to manifest and give you some grounded energy. We have the Page of Pentacles. This is starting something new and moving slow. Don't move fast, move slow. All right. I will see you next time. Bye. And it's going to be dealing with finances of some sort. All right, Libras, we have, of course, this happening in your first house of identity, your appearance. The focus is on you, Libras, right? And the full moon is highlighting yourself and going against your relationships, your image, your needs, your emotional truth. You are shedding an old version of yourself, and especially one created by people pleasing, okay? With Venus being your ruler and it being direct in that sixth house of work, or your organization or charity, or even like how you process information. You're reworking your routine, you're reclaiming your health, and set sacred boundaries between you and them. Now, when it comes to this full moon, there's a heavy load, a heavy burden happening for you, a lot of work. It's okay. And it could be in conflicts. You're not used to that, probably, Libra. It's okay. It's towards the end. This is the end of that journey. Okay. Now, when it comes to Venus being direct, something with the Lovers card, this is dealing with relationships. It could be dealing with your relationship at work, but there is going to be a choice or an alignment or some unity now that that Venus is going direct. And then lastly, we have that Mars in your 10th house, and this is your public reputation. This is dealing with your work, right? And it's squaring yourself. So this could be bringing, we have the Ace of Cups, and this could be bringing new relationships, some compassion. You are going to be more aware of your spirituality and loving yourself. Okay. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Scorpios, welcome. This is in your 12th house. It's time to reset. This is a time of solitude, healing, spirituality, releasing, and forgiving. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so Scorpios, this full moon shines the house that doesn't want to shine. Okay, it's hidden. There's grief, there's dreams, there's unfinished emotional business. You need, or you may be feeling raw, but there needs to be a release or forgiveness, and it's going to be very sacred. Okay, and that is where your emotions are. Venus is stationing direct in your 5th house, and that is the house of fun and romance and art and even children. So you're awakening to this joy, but first, this full moon helps you cleanse your emotional palette. And you need to trust the tears. You need to use the water to cleanse your energy. It's okay to cry, Scorpios, because you are an emotional creature. You know this energy. You are familiar with this. This could be something dealing with secrets or secret relationships too. And Mars is squaring that, and it's in the 9th house. So it's something dealing with your philosophy, something dealing with your, bigger world, the bigger picture, publishing, YouTube or something like that, but also things that are not from your community or even traveling. And there is something with yourself not going with your day-to-day work and your day-to-day routines. Okay. Now, for us, this full moon, you're going to be feeling lack. You're going to be feeling insecure. That makes sense because the moon is in your 12th house. When it comes to the sun, there is going to be some conflict. When it comes to your work, you're going to feel like you're in competition. When it comes to Venus being direct, we have the 2 of Pentacles, and you're going to have to be balancing something. You might be able to do it. You might be able to balance this fun and self-expression, but there's multitasking and weighing options, staying focused, and finding balance and juggling 2 things at once. And then lastly, we have that Mars squaring the full moon, and that Mars squaring the full moon is going to give you toxic energy. We have the Devil card. Okay. Attachment to addictions, oppression, shadow self, materialism, Also, sex and greed and envy. It's giving you toxic energy. You want to be careful with that. What can you do when it gets that way? You need to think in abundance. You need to not think in lack. That you thinking in lack is making you being toxic, okay? With that full moon. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Sagittarius, we have the 11th house. This full moon is in 11th house. Let me look at it. Let me actually bring you into it. Sagittarius. Okay, so this is happening in your 11th house. Sagittarius. Now the time is off, so just ignore it. But remember, it's in the sign Libra, right? So the full moon is going to be here in your 11th house. It's going to be opposing the 5th house. Your Venus is going direct in the 4th house, and it's squaring this one in the 8th house. Okay, so a shift in your social circle is going to happen. This is something dealing with friendships, or a big group, or something dealing with technology and your friends. A friend's truth is going to be revealed, or you'll be placed in a group and you have to reevaluate this group or this network or this company, not company, but this networking is what I was thinking. You may not be aligned with these people and you've been really passive aggressive with them. Okay. So that is one possibility. This is also dealing with technology too, or your future or your hopes and dreams that might be causing a conflict. Now, Venus is going direct in that 4th house. That is dealing with your home. Regrounding, emotional, and rebuilding some strong home base. The discussions and arguments with the family that could be getting better for you. Your vision for a future must include your roots, not just wings. That was lame. Sorry. Anyway, but we have the sun in the 5th house and it's opposing your self-expression versus the group. And then we have Mars here in its 8th house of taboo, secrets, and it could be things that are, very taboo. It could be intimacy as well. What else could it be? Occults? No, occults is 12th house, but like taxes, money, finances, all this could be an issue. So I'm going to pull a card for each thing. So with the full moon, we have the 3 of Pentacles. You need to collaborate. This is a collaboration. This is going to be dealing with teamwork. That's going to be affecting you, okay? So that's going to be the issue there, and it's going to bring some high emotions. Now, when you have the Mars in Cancer, now it's going to be maybe giving you a great opportunity of money. This change, this square here is going to bring you new finances because that is the house of some money. So when this challenge happens, it might be happening for the better. That's really good. Even though it's a challenge now, it's going to come out ending being really good for you. And Pisces, Venus being direct in that 4th house, we have the 6 of Pentacles. There's things of your past, not of your past. I'm thinking of the 7 of Pentacles. This is generosity and balance. Okay, so it looks like there's going to be some balance, some money given that could be happening to family, and maybe that will make them happy. Okay, and then also too, with the sun in the 5th house, Sagittarius, we have the Queen of Swords. This is someone who is really going to speak their truth. They're independent, intelligent, and honest and fair. There's some clear boundaries too when it comes to that friendship circle there. Okay, that is what we have for you. I will see you next time. Bye. Okay, Capricorns, this is happening in your 10th house of career and purpose. Okay, and that 10th house of career and purpose, where's my Capricorns? Here it is. I know the moon's there, but it's going to be here. Okay. 10th house of career, purpose, your public image. And it's all about your reputation, your career goals, and your status. Something's going to be causing a problem in your professional life. Okay. You may be emotional about it. Venus is going direct in that 3rd house. And this is dealing with siblings. This also could be dealing with your day to day, not your day to day, your community as well. But major communication vibes here, and it restores your voice, softens your thoughts, and helps you mend or express what's been misunderstood. You're learning that success without soul feels empty. Purpose now needs a heart. The sun in here conflicting your work. It's home versus your work. And something with your relationships is also going to be very impulsive and cause some problems here with your public image, and also cause some problems here with your home. Okay, let me pull a card on each thing. When it comes to the full moon, you have the 6 of Swords. There is a transition happening. You are leaving one, moving to other to get healed. Okay, when it comes to the sun, we have the Emperor in reverse, and you are losing control. You're losing your ego. The ego is too big. You got to reduce the ego. There's going to be ups and downs. This is fate, life cycle, karma, unexpected events happening with that Mars in Cancer. And then lastly, Venus going direct is looks like, because we have Pisces, we have the Five of Cups, there's going to be a loss of something. This is a house of, this is a card of grief and regret and failure or disappointment, pessimism, sadness, mourning. It's not that you're going to physically lose someone, but you are losing a situation here that could possibly happen for you. Okay, Capricorns, I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, Aquarius, this is happening in your ninth house of belief, travel, wisdom, and expansion. The full moon exposes outdated beliefs or invites you to share a truth you've been sitting on. It's a time of philosophical reckoning. Venus direct in the second house reunites you to understand your values, especially on your own. Okay, let me see. Happening here. Oh yeah, it's something with higher education too, and traveling. You can have a conflict while traveling with your friends, and it's you guys having this big argument. If you are traveling, I'm sorry, but Mercury is still in a pre-shadow phase of retrograding. So also too, there's something with your finances, and now that would get better for you as this goes direct. This is going to conflict, and this is dealing with some organization, your day-to-day activity. It's like, this is what I do every day, and you're traveling and they get mad at you because you do things like this every day. Okay, I'm going to pull a card on each placement. Far as the full moon, we have the Page of Wands. So it's like the start of an argument and you starting to be confident, and its emotions is going to cause that. And especially when it comes to you, you being adventurous and you stepping out of the box. Okay, now far as the Mars in Cancer, we have the moon. It is the ruler of the moon, right? But there are some fears happening here and something subconsciously happening, and you need to work on your past. And then as far as the sun, there are the 10 of swords. So this is like heavy, painful endings, right? Someone is saying some words and you don't like them. You feel like they're literally stabbing you in the back. And then as far as Venus being direct, we have the Temperance. This is very good, right? There's some balance and harmony coming your way. You probably really felt imbalanced, especially when it came to the finances. It gets better for you, okay? I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, Pisces, this is happening in your 8th house. Let's see what we have for this full moon for you, Pisces. Yes, 8th house is where your Libra energy is. So it's money here, debt, taxes. This also is a major transformation, things that are taboo, dealing with psychological things. And now it's opposing yourself. This is like you going to a therapist, and it's someone you're working with, or because we're talking about Libra, some type of partnership. This could be dealing with finances too, like you're losing it and you feel like you're losing it. Or there is a rebirth of all of things happening for you. Now, Venus is being direct in your first house of self. So you could have some balance and harmony with yourself, and people are now supporting you because they weren't supporting you. You're getting lost in the sauce. Now, this is in your second house, this Chiron, healing of your what you truly value. This is really all about yourself, really. That's what it looks like. A little some insecurity with yourself. Again, here we go. Mars in Cancer is causing conflict when you really do truly express yourself. Let me see what we have here. We have a lot of cards. The Queen of Cups, you got to be strong. Gotta be strong. Gotta be wise. You gotta be wiser. Okay, Pisces, we got the Queen of Cups. This is a week, and the full moon is going to make you become more compassionate. You need to use your intuition. You are the healer. You have to be strong and confident in your Pisces energy. We also have the Queen of Pentacles. The money was an issue for you, and now you are going to be able to be stable with your money. And again, Knight of Pentacles, not only be stable, but move slow. The Knight of Pentacles is the slowest movement. So do not be impulsive when it comes to your finances. There's going to be some heartbreak. This is a Three of Swords. Heartbreak, heartache, emotional pain, sorrow. Now, in my favorite tarot deck, there is a Sankofa, and it means to know your history so you won't repeat it in your future. So know your past so you won't repeat it in your future. You got that Mars in Cancer. And then lastly, there looks like there could be some deception, some betrayal. I think that is what we had in this 8th house. This 8th house represents 8th house represents things that are dealing with mystery. And you are Pisces, and Pisces of the self, Pisces energy alone, not in saying you, is also deceit. So there's some betrayal, some deceitful, get away with something that maybe you could be dishonest with yourself. Let me see what you can do with this dishonesty. The dishonesty is going to start a new journey. You are talking about, it is your solar return. Okay, you guys, Pisces energy is starting new. It's going to start a new journey for you. Okay, let me tell you what else this says here: new beginnings, innocence, originality, fearless, fresh hope, taking a chance, new path. Okay, leap of faith. This is Aries energy, even though I know you're Pisces, but this is how I explain it. There's a new journey and starting fresh starts. I'm talking about the Aries themes in books. So if you're watching that, that'll really explain what's happening with you, like really loving yourself and starting to love yourself. Okay, so the deceitfulness and the shadiness is going to end up teaching you to love yourself and start something different. And let me tell you that the Fool card literally is the Fool. There's things that you do not know, but it's okay. It's like a child. You know how a child is so innocent, they're so ignorant, and they're out of love. They touch the stove if it's hot, and they're like, oh, I didn't know it was hot. But they were having fun before they touched the stove it was hot. You have to go in a childlike mentality and have fun and really learn to love yourself, Pisces. Okay. Yeah, but the Fool is also Uranus, so expect the unexpected. That makes the adventure even fun. All right. I will see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching. Later on this week, I think I'm going to do, because we have all this Pisces energy and everything is going direct, I think I'm going to do unedited reading for you guys. Let me know what reading you want. If there's questions that you have to ask, write them down below. I'll add it to the unedited reading. All right. I will see you guys next time. Wait, I'm waving to myself. Bye.
Bye bye.